2. Are you gonna get a Cult Gateway complete bike, but not sure what comes on the bike and if everything's worth your money? Well, you're in luck today. Today, I'm gonna do an explain and review video about the Cult Gateway 20-inch BMX bike. I'm gonna tell you everything from the front to the back. We have it here in person. It's not a computer screen or a photo. We have it here so we can tell you everything about it, and we can show you everything that comes on this bike in high detail so that you know exactly what you're getting. So starting off, you get a complete bike here. It's got everything from tires, grips, pedals, cranks, seat, and all that other stuff. But the main thing is what they're actually made out of and how they were designed so that it improves your riding. So going to the Colt handlebars, first we're going to go to the Colt grips. We have these Colt rib grips right here. They look pretty sick. They have a Colt logo here on the side, and then it's got a small bar end right here. These grips are really nice because they're really grippy, they're really soft, they're really long. A little bit thinner diameter than most grips, so if you're a little guy, these will feel a little bit better on your hands because they're not as thick, making it harder to hold onto the handlebar. Going to lever, you got your standard alloy brake lever. This thing feels nice. It's about a 3-finger lever, not too big, not too small. And then next, we got some high tensile steel bars, and these bad boys are measured from the center here to the center here. So what height are these? They're probably around 9 inches tall. Looks about 9 inches tall. What do you say? Comment below. Let us know how tall you think these bars are. Or look into look at our website. You can see how high they are. But that's how you measure them. They looked about 9, but I can't see them because it's backside. So you tell me what size these bars are. Going to the stem, we have a drop forge aluminum stem. This thing is a top load where the handlebars are loaded on the top. It gives you a little bit higher rise, gives you a little bit more reach, and it gives you a little more room in the cockpit right here. So you can tuck your knees in here when doing 360s, 180s, stuff like that. It just helps out a lot. Going to the headset, what I noticed is this one's a little bit different than most bikes. Most bikes have a tall cap on here. This one has a medium-sized cap, so it's not super tall and it's not super low, which is kind of cool. Also, the fork isn't very long, so that this compression bolt on the top is recessed, and it just looks really, really clean. Going to the fork, we got a nice steer tube on here, which is high tensile steel and high tensile steel fork legs, thick dropouts on both sides, and then we got a long front axle. The axle is 3/8, and then it's got a 17 millimeter head on here. It's got a sealed front hub, and the front hub is alloy, and it's laser etched with the cool Colt logo there. We have stainless steel spokes right here. We have the Colt match rim. This is a double wall rim. We got brass spoke nipples, and we got the Vans 65 PSI tire. This thing is pretty fat. It's pretty grippy. It's dual directional, so it goes any direction. It's got a lot of grip on the side and in the center. Going to the seat, we got the combo seat. This is a Colt rubberized seat. It has rubber coating on the outside to prevent it from ripping, and it has a big, large Colt logo up here. This thing is fixed, so it only is able to angle at this angle, and it's fixed to the seat post, so you can't change the angle of it. You could only raise and lower it. Going to the pedals, we have the Colt PC pedals. These are a nylon pedal with a heavy duty axle, and the platform pedal has a lot of pins and a lot of deep knurling to make it really grippy, whether you're riding in dirt or you're riding in street. The side of the pedals are really thick to prevent them from breaking, and just overall good heavy duty pedal. Going to the cranks, we have these 170 chromoly 3-piece cranks with the 8 spline spindle. They have 6 millimeter head on the side right here, and they got an 8 right here. If your cranks are coming loose, make sure you tighten up these ones on the side and then tighten up these ones, and then that should suck up everything together and keep your cranks tight. Going to the sprocket, we have a Colt steel sprocket. This is a 25 tooth sprocket. Just your basic standard sprocket, as well as a KMC S1 chain, your basic chain. Actually, sorry, this is the Colt 410 chain. Just basic chain, go riding or anything like that. Going to the brakes, we got alloy 990 brakes. These are just a generic brake. They work pretty well. Nothing too fancy about it. A lot of you riders take off your brakes anyways, so it's probably not that big of a deal. Going to the rear wheel, we have the same exact tire as the front. We have the same rear rim, same spokes and spoke nipple, but we have a different rear hub. We have a Colt cassette alloy rear cassette hub. It has a 14 millimeter axle, large 17 millimeter head on it. It's got a large washer to keep your frame and your pegs stable. It also has a 9-2 driver, and then it does have these lock washers, so you can put hub guards on here if you like. That's a pretty cool feature on this bike. As far as the drivetrain, if you used to ride a large sprocket, this pedals exactly the same. So if you had a 44 and a 16 in the back here back in the 90s and 80s, and you're riding that and you're wondering why this sprocket's small, it's called the micro drive, and it's just pretty much 25 in the back and 25 in the front and 9 in the back. So 9-2 driver and a 25-2 sprocket. Pedals exactly the same, but it can reduce the weight of your bicycle from 1 to 3 pounds lighter. So going with the micro drive, it tremendously lightens the bicycle up and just makes it a better ride. Now, what you all been waiting for is the frame. So the frame comes in this super cool color, silver. It's also available in black, white at the moment, and others various limited edition colors. If you see a color that you like, make sure you pick it up right then and there, because once it's sold out, it's probably not coming back. Even if it's a black one, it probably has different stickers on it, maybe different graphics, maybe be flat black instead of gloss black. So if you really dig it, just get the bike now. This top tube comes in a 20.5 top tube. If you're wondering if you should get this bike and you're 6'1", I would say that if this is in your budget and you really love this bike, then go ahead and get that. 20.5 is kind of a generic size for almost everybody. If it's your first bike, you're gonna try different size bikes. And you could be that know-it-all on there and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. But look at where I'm at, and I started on like a 19-inch dyno VFR. So if you're saying don't get this bike because of this and blah, 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 but look at me, that it shows that you can get the wrong thing, and then as you ride and progress, you can get information, learn about stuff, and then point you in the right direction. It's like buying your first car. You're not going to go buy a muscle car your first time and hit it right on the head with every aftermarket parts you need. You're going to go out and you're going to buy a cheap car, then you maybe buy a project car, and you kind of build up and get to there. So it's kind of a process. So don't knock those guys out that are trying to learn and keep them from riding because they can't afford a $400 or $600 bike. If you can afford it, definitely get whatever bike you like, because when you ride a bike that you like, even if it was a mistake, you'll definitely ride happier than if you bought a bike that you really don't want. So with that said, general rule of thumb, you could ride this bike if you're between, I would say, like 4'10" all the way up to 6 foot. Even if you're taller than 6 foot, you can still ride this. Maybe put some bigger handlebars on it, maybe a longer stem, but it's not that big of a deal. Ride it till you outride it, and then maybe upgrade or buy an aftermarket frame, because you can buy an aftermarket frame and bolt all these parts onto an aftermarket frame, and now you're at the next level. This frame is the front triangles chromoly, the rest of it's high tensile steel, but it looks phenomenal. It has a gusset on the top tube and the down tube right here. This one I haven't seen on a lot of the bikes recently, but this one has an integrated seat clamp, and it just looks really nice. The seat stays are kind of drawn out, has a lot of welding surface area over here. When it's angled like that, it creates a really good bond, and it strengthens up the bike right here, preventing it from breaking super easy. So that's definitely a plus on it. It also has a mid-bottom bracket right here. This thing's all milled out, super small, super thin. Going to the back, the chain stays and seat stays are relatively big. They're not too fat, not too skinny. They're pinched at the end, but they look really clean. It has a super small dropout to be able to run pegs and for things not to get in the way. But overall, the frame looks super, super sick. The rear ends relatively short. It's not super long, but overall, this is a great bike to start riding. If you're young, let's say 10 to 15 years old, and you're growing up, this is a great bike to start with. This should last you till you're an adult, and if it doesn't, stuff breaks down, it's easy to buy different parts and add it to it as you progress, and you won't feel like you wasted money on this bike. If you're a really tall person and you buy this bike and you ride it, and let's say you outride it really fast and you switch stuff out, that's perfect because it allowed you to ride really to the next level, and then it allowed you to upgrade really fast. But overall, in general, this bike can handle anything from an adult to a beginner or anything like that. You'll be able to ride this comfortably, no problem. You don't have to add any extra stuff. If you're riding in an intermediate, expert, pro level, you might want to think about going with a higher end bike like the Devotion or something like that. But if this is your first or second bike, this bike would be awesome for you to get. All you got to do is head over to stackbmx.com right there and pick yourself up one of these Cult Gateway Complete BMX bikes.